There we go. Okay, calling the meeting to order. It does not look like we currently have quorum, so if more people arrive, we can officially make it an official meeting. But until that point, hello everyone, this is just an unofficial gathering, yay. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. And I know that several of you said that you had conflicting events at noon, so we will do our absolute best to get you out of here before noon. So like I said, I don't think that we have quorum. So we can't do anything officially with Robert's rules, but I can give some reports. So I've been working with Jill Dunham on planning the picnic that is our next meeting, which is on July 17th, I believe. And that's going to be at Little John Lake County Park in Allegan. It's the same place that we've had our summer picnic every year. And I'm excited to say we're going to be in person. We're planning on having a potluck, and it should be as normal can be. Obviously, you know, some people may still be hesitant with COVID. So definitely attend at your own comfort level. I myself am planning on wearing a mask just to be safe, better safe than sorry. But yeah, we're planning on having a potluck, having the picnic as normal, and hopefully it'll be a great event. We have asked all of our local legislators to attend, so maybe we'll see some of our senators and some of our local state reps. That would be nice. And we also invited the governor and the lieutenant governor. Haven't heard anything back from them, but it would be really super awesome if they attended. So that's what we're hoping for in July, but more information about that will be coming, and I don't want to steal Jill's thunder completely, so I'll let her talk about that later. Ken Wilcutt cannot be here, so let me share my screen. There we go. Okay, so we've got the treasurer's report. I'll go back. So we've got $5,301.91 in our PAC account. We have $2,535.64 in our admin account, and we have a total balance of $7,837.55. Ken is working with Heather to get us up to date with our FEC reporting. Unfortunately, it sounds like they haven't heard anything from Grant, who was our prior treasurer, and he has some files that we need in order to make those reports complete. If any of you know how to get in touch with him, it seems like he's ignoring contact from others in the group. So if any of you have any idea how to get in touch with him and can do so and ask him to reach out to Ken Wilcutt or Heather Ricketts, that would be extremely useful. I didn't hear anything from any of our other officers, but before I go to Rick, are any of our other officers on the call that want to make a report? Okay, well then, Rick, I will let you take the stage and I will stop sharing.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Can everyone hear me? Hopefully. Okay, good. All right. Well, good morning. I just wanted to give a brief, I contacted Eleanor and wanted to give a brief update as to what candidate recruitment campaigns committee has been doing. I'm not as familiar with all of the county chairs, and so the first item is I'm still waiting on hearing back from Cass County and St. Joseph County in regards to who their candidate recruitment campaign chairs are, and if those counties have someone in that position. Are either the Cass or St. Joe County chairs on the meeting?
This is Cass. This is Naomi Ludman. Hi, Rick. I'm sorry I missed the memo that you needed that information.
That's okay.
We're in the process of recruiting someone
Perfect.
for that position. So I'm making a note, and as soon as we have somebody, I will let you know.
Great. Thanks. Is St. Joe County on? Yes.
Kathy is on.
Where's Kathy?
She's here by phone. At least
there
I
she-
recognized her phone number.
All right. Well, I will come back to that. The only reason that, one of the reasons that I've delayed in trying to get the community together is I didn't want to leave anyone out. And so I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to share that information with me. So I have information from everybody else. And the goal is to set up a meeting at some point this summer, if possible, with all of those committee chairs, with potential agenda items, including from each county to share information on current and potential candidates for office. I'm also interested in learning about identifying current office holders that may be interested in running for higher office, which is a second possible agenda item. And then finally, I met a gentleman at the Van Buren County Dems meeting on Thursday. His name is Wayne Deering, and he has done work with Kalamazoo County, and he and his wife are interested in getting involved with Van Buren Dems. He has some extensive campaign experience. He worked on Howard Wolpe's campaign a few years ago. He was actually the treasurer for that campaign. And so I'm interested to meet with him, learn more from him, and then see if there's anything that he could do to contribute to the CD6 committee as well. I did some in the process of doing some post-election research. I know Joey is on I think Joey's on the Zoom. Yep, there's Joey. I had an opportunity to meet with Joey Andrews. He has put together a post-2020 election analysis and information for each county. And so I'm not aware or know how each county, if each county has had an opportunity to view it, but hopefully have an opportunity with Joy being a rep to be there at the meeting to possibly share and explain that information and then create some strategies moving forward. Then the other two items, I did meet with a potential candidate for the 6th congressional seat. Her name is Jasmine Moore Kyle. She has interested in running for Congress. And I suggested that she connect with the Black Caucus, MDP Black Caucus. Alexis Ramsey is one of their vice chairs. And Alexis actually has a home or a vacation home or something in the Saugatuck area. And so I hope to connect those two and maybe even meet with Alexis myself this summer. And I also suggested that Jasmine consider some of the trainings that the Great Lakes Political Academy is providing as well. And so hopefully she'll be able to connect with Caitlin or Rourke or Alexis with that group as well. And then finally, I met with the campaign team of a city council member here in South Haven. She is a progressive candidate. She's a member of the MDP. Her name is Wendy Onuki. And an opportunity to sit down with her, kind of hear some of her issues and concerns for the South Haven area. But also always in the back of my mind is potential for higher office for folks as well. And so hopefully getting involved with Wendy's campaign here, learning a little bit more about her, possibly moving forward as well. It's a nonpartisan election here in South Haven. And so candidates are not always, there's pros and cons, I will say, right, in terms of running a nonpartisan campaign. But anyway, having some conversations with her as well. That's all the information I have, Eleanor. Thank you. If there's any questions, I can try to help.
Thank you, Rick. Does anybody have any questions for Rick?
Does Millie have her hand up?
I'm sorry, I had my hand up for the chair, but she missed it, so I don't have.
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry.
I
How can
never
I
want
help?
to leave. I never want to leave you out, Millie.
That's okay.
Hey, Rick, I've got a question for you. Where is Jasmine living? Is she in Kalamazoo?
She's in Benton Harbor.
Okay, great.
Benton Harbor resident. I can share more information if people are interested. I can do that. Since we're kind of short on time, I might be able to put some of that information together. I'll work with Eleanor on that. Eleanor is actually the person who connected me with Jasmine to begin with. And so maybe we could do that when we have a little bit more time.
Is this the Jasmine that worked on the one campaign last cycle?
What do you think, Eleanor? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. She contacted me on Facebook and we had a half-an-hour meeting and I took some notes and handed those off to Rick.
Okay.
She seemed.
What was
she
her
didn't-
last name?
Jasmine Mahone is from South Haven.
Right. What was this Jasmine's last name?
Moore Kyle.
Yep, more
Okay,
Kyle.
different Jasmine.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. Okay, any other questions for Rick? Okay, before I move on, Millie, what was your question?
Sorry, I was gonna ask you to repeat the stuff about the next meeting. I got Little John Lake County Park, and I got July, and that's all I got.
Oh, no worries. I'll let Jill talk about that later. It's her event. It's the picnic that we normally have, but if she doesn't cover it completely, then send me a message and we'll get you all the information.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, so in the interest of time, let's move on. We have our special presentation by Joey, who is joining us to talk about the redistricting effort. So Joey, I'll let you have the stage.
Thank you very much. And I know, looking at the group, that I've talked to at least a decent number of people here already about the redistricting process. So it'll be review for some people, but still important. I'm sure everybody here is well aware of the Redistricting Commission and the work that they're doing right now on redistricting for the state of Michigan. What I'm here to sort of talk about and advocate for is everybody here themselves taking the time to submit written testimony or attend one of the last couple of hearings. The Kalamazoo one was our closest one at the very beginning. We do have a Grand Rapids and Muskegon one in West Michigan coming up that I would heavily encourage anybody who wasn't able to make the Kalamazoo one to attend one of those and give testimony on what communities exist in each of your counties. The written testimony is also, I would say, equally important and something you could maybe mobilize some of your members around as well. For those of you that don't know, I've been working for the AFL-CIO on this for the last couple months. And part of the mission has been to get people to show up at these meetings and submit written testimony for fair maps, because the Republicans, the Farm Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce, and all those wonderful conservative groups have been doing a lot of work to also mobilize people to show up and talk about how the maps are great as is and nothing needs to change, and all of that wonderful stuff. I will say that I think we've been doing a very good job mobilizing around the testimony so far. The in-person meetings, I think we have generally had pretty favorable comments made. We've more or less been able to overwhelm the Republican organizing effort so far. But I think it's just important that we're all aware that there is a Republican organizing effort going on out there, and that they would very much love to not have the maps be excuse me, any fairer than they are now. As far as the testimony goes, some of the people here that I've worked with on this know that I'm happy to help craft testimony, help direct people and their thoughts and how to think about redistricting. It's not necessarily intuitive, I think, for a lot of people, what a community of interest is or how the map making process kind of works. But the commission is going to begin drawing maps basically right away in July. They've indicated at their last couple meetings that as soon as the public testimony wraps up July 1, they're going to take a week off, and then when they come back from their week off, they're going to begin drawing maps right away. So we have a very small window at this point of a couple weeks to get testimony in a way that's going to be influential on that process. And for those of us here in Southwest Michigan, one of the important things is that no one on the commission is from our region of the state. There's nobody from like Grand Rapids area, Kalamazoo area, north, south. West Michigan is unrepresented on the redistricting commission completely. It's unfortunate in some respects, but in others, it means that our testimony is going to be taken much more seriously by them than maybe otherwise, because there's nobody on the commission to sort of, share their personal experiences with our region. So if we get our testimony in, we all believe that it'll actually be fairly persuasive. But if we don't get any testimony in, then they're going to do what people from East Michigan do and, just kind of draw boxes around our area because they don't really know what's what and what goes where. So just really, really important, I think, that we're all getting testimony in. As far as, good outcomes for us in this area, We've spent a lot of time looking at the maps and figuring out how they could draw districts in our region and what the difference between a good map and a bad map could look like for us. So just as a quick rundown, there are basically, we think, 3 or 4 main priorities for the 6th congressional district. Most of it's on the local level. As far as the congressional districts go, we think it's going to be hard to influence the drawing of those. They're very large districts. The main push on the on the congressional level has been to potentially get Battle Creek added into the 6th congressional district, or maybe all of Calhoun County. The 6th district has to get bigger because we're losing a congressional district in Michigan, so every congressional district has to get bigger. So we can do that by adding Battle Creek, which would turn this district almost into a 50-50 coin flip congressional race. The other ways it could happen, which are much worse, are adding Berry County or adding Branch County, both of which would make the district significantly redder. So, as far as congressional testimony goes, that's a really good angle. On the local races, we need the state Senate district in the southwest corner to become Berrien, Van Buren, and Cass County. So Allegan County folks, one of the most helpful things you could do is talking about communities of interest with Barry and Ottawa in particular. We have, and I can't stress this enough, we have a chance to achieve a state Senate majority for the first time in almost 40 years with these fair maps. And as it turns out, Allegan County is a pivot point on most of the maps because of the population. If Van Buren and Allegan end up together, it could cost us 2 Senate seats on the Democratic side. So it's actually really important that Allegan and Van Buren don't end up put together on a state Senate map. So any of the Allegan folks here, that is one of the most important things that you guys could mobilize around, is getting your members to talk about their connections to Ottawa County in particular, but separation from Van Buren. Also, if you needed any further motivation on that subject, if Van Buren and Berrien are in a state Senate district together, it forces Eric Nesbitt and Kim Lasada into a primary, and everyone's a winner when Kim Lasada and Eric Nesbitt have to have a primary with each other. So, so that is another priority. The final, the State House priorities are the last one. Most of those center around Berrien and Kalamazoo. If we can get South Haven, St. Joseph, Benton Harbor into a state house district together, we have a shot at electing a Democrat to state house in a place that isn't just Kalamazoo County. So anybody from those regions who can, make those sorts of community arguments connecting those 2 communities should. In Kalamazoo, the main focus is trying to get Kalamazoo City split into 2 different house districts. We're working with the NAACP on this one as well. I believe they're going to be submitting a white paper about it. But essentially, the goal is to create an eastern city district with the east side of the county that's more centered on like the Black community in Kalamazoo, as well as sort of the lower socioeconomic eastern side of Kalamazoo County, and then a western city district that's sort of centered around the campus, student housing, the Oshtemo suburbs, et cetera. So those are, I think, the highest priorities as far as Southwest Michigan's concerned. I think there's a little bit of something for everybody in this. If you're in St. Joseph County, for instance, talking about your association with Branch County on the Senate level would be great, because the Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph Senate district is sort of akin to the Van Buren, Allegan one that's so problematic for us. So there's a little bit for everyone here as far as arguments we can make to get good maps for our region. Actually, maybe start electing more Democrats down ticket, maybe get ourselves a competitive congressional race. It is remarkable how gerrymandered West and Southwest Michigan have been on the local level for so long. And, we haven't had an opportunity really ever to, make things more fair, more competitive. So those are the arguments that would be the most helpful to mobilize around. I will say we definitely need more people on all of those arguments at the moment. We have some, I know Naomi and some folks from Cass have submitted some good arguments for the state Senate district, but we need more. We figure, you know, if we can get about a dozen people per argument, that'll probably be a pretty persuasive number of arguments made. So that's really the rundown. If anybody has any questions, happy to take a couple questions. And like I said, happy to help, you know, help people with these arguments, crafting them and that sort of thing.
Thank you, Joey. Jill, I see you've got your hand up.
Yeah, hi. So a couple questions. Number one is, we already had our Kalamazoo meeting. So can you review what the process is to submit testimony?
Yeah, so and just for what it's worth, there is going to be a meeting in Grand Rapids, which
Oh,
some of the Allegan folks might be able to attend.
Okay, yep.
So there is that opportunity still. But the written submission process, you just have to go to the redistricting website, which I believe is michigan.gov/MCIRC, Michigan Independent Commission for Redistricting. And there's a portal right on that page that says submit written testimony. And it
Okay.
basically takes you to a submission page where you can, you know, give a title to your argument. You can create some hashtags for it, you know, so that it's searchable. And then you write your argument there. And there's actually a little map making tool as well. So somebody could go in and actually like draw what they think the map should look like for their area, or highlight what their community of interest is. So it's a really useful tool.
Okay, that sounds good. And then just curious, Allegan's definitely willing to take one for the team, but if we separate from Van Buren and we affiliate, or we lobby for a Senate district that includes Branch, is it Branch and Ottawa, or Branch or Ottawa?
You mean Barry?
Barry, sorry, yes.
It's probably, it could be both. It could be either. Honestly, if you guys want to focus on Holland City and, you know, making an Allegan
Yeah.
Holland City district, that's almost
Yeah.
a full state Senate district. And I think it would actually give you a more competitive district.
Yeah,
than the
That's what I
current
was
one.
wondering, if it would be more competitive or less.
Yeah, because
So you
Holland's
think it would
fairly
be
blue.
more competitive? Yeah, and it's really a hassle having, you know, we got four precincts of Holland in Allegan County, and I don't think the city of Holland should be split.
No, and
But
I-
Holland has more affinity to Ottawa County, so it's kind of hard to make an argument that Ottawa County should be carved out of, Holland should be carved out of Ottawa.
well, I think the, you know, we don't get to draw the maps for the commission. And so what they're interested in is where do people affiliate? And so,
Right.
you know, if people from like the Saugatuck area, from Northern Allegan,
Oh, yeah.
are coming to the meeting and saying like, you know, we go and shop in Holland, you know, that's where we go for, you know, we work in Holland, that kind of stuff. It sort of shows the community connections.
And speaking of that, has the Democratic Party actually done any maps that are comprehensive, or is everything happening very distributed?
So it's a slightly complicated question. So
Sure.
basically, the MDP wasn't really moving on this, and so basically, the AFL kind of took the lead and put
Oh,
together
good.
a map making guild, and has been kind of working with the MDP and various other progressive organizations in Michigan. And so we kind of created the consensus maps and then
Good.
got buy-in from the other groups. So the MDP is working with us on this now, maybe a little later to the game than would have been good, but
Right.
everyone's working together on it. But if you want to get together sometime, I can go over some of the maps with you. We just
Well,
can't share them. live.
Yeah, well, it's a very holistic process, and so I kind of was hoping that we had some sort of a thing that we could kind of all focus on, because you talk about communities of interest, and Allegan has 5.
Sure.
Because, you know, Casco County has affinity to the city of South Haven. And then Plain Lawn Otsego have more affinity to Kalamazoo. And Wayland has much more affinity to Grand Rapids. And so Allegan is really a large land sized county, one of the larger ones in the state, and it really doesn't have any affinity within itself. And so that's why I was curious. I mean, I definitely would argue that Saugatuck, all the people that live in Saugatuck, their city to go to is Holland. And then Allegan people can kind of go any direction because they're kind of in the middle of nowhere. But-
Yeah, there's a lot of that, right? Like Ottawa County is, 4 corners, and each corner is really a different community of interest. But some of what it comes down to is population. There's 92,000 people in a state house district, 200 and something thousand, 270,000 people in a Senate district. So, at some point you end up just kind of having to put different communities together because population. So, but
And is there
I get
still
what you're
talk
saying.
about having a lakeshore house district?
Yeah, so that's kind of the goal of what we were talking about with like bringing St. Joe and South Haven together. That you could create a lakeshore house district. You could actually bring Saugatuck and Holland together and make a house district potentially as well. And we're talking about that all the way up Lake Michigan too, like taking Grand Haven up to Muskegon and taking Leelanau County and Traverse City together in the Northwest.
Right.
Like the lakeshore communities really are a community of interest with themselves.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Thank you. Did anyone else have any questions for Joey before we continue? Okay, I don't see any. Thank you, Joey. Really appreciate it. I've taken notes on everything that you said. I also posted the link to the Independent Redistricting Commission's website on michigan.gov in the chat, and I'll also include it in a summary email. Our secretary isn't here, so I am going to be taking minutes after I process the recording. So, okay, we do have quorum now, so this is now an official meeting. Huzzah. I think the only thing that we would need to do then is just to approve our agenda retroactively. So can I have a motion to approve the agenda now that we have quorum?
Move to accept Catherine Van Buren.
Thank you. Second? Anybody?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Austin.
Okay, cool. So we've got a motion that's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of accepting the agenda, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, great. So we've got quorum. We have an accepted agenda. Kathleen, I see your hand is up. Did you have a question for Joey that I missed? You are still muted, unfortunately.
And
Hello.
Hello.
I'm going in and out on my internet today, so it's. I have a question for Joy that occurred to me as you were discussing the redraw. I don't think that we included in our argument for the Van Buren Cass Berrien argument that the tribe, and I don't know how I would forget this having worked for the tribe, that the tribe is the Bureau of Indian Affairs area that is under, that has the Pokagon Band in it, includes Van Buren County, it includes Berrien County, it includes Cass County, actually it includes Allegan County as well. So the argument that that the tribe and the counties are consistent with each other, they all are part of the Bureau of Indian Affairs service delivery area. Do you think that is an argument that I should perhaps put in a written form?
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of example of a good
Okay.
community of interest argument, because the commission has been very adamant that they want to keep communities together, and they really emphasized racial and ethnic communities among them. There's a lot of places in the state where the Republicans divided those communities. Good example actually is the current Holland City State House district divides Holland City from Holland Township. And even divides part of Holland City from itself. And there's a pretty cohesive Latino community in
Yes.
that area that is split between 3 house districts. And so like that's a really good example of, dividing communities that shouldn't be divided. So yeah, I think if, it'd be great if we could get a few people, maybe somebody from the tribe as well, to submit an argument kind of outlining where they're centered, and why that should be kept together.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome question. Okay, cool. Any other questions for Joey before we move on? Seeing none. Okay, so we've got county reports. Let's start with Jill, if you would like to give your county report.
Sure. So we have our third Tuesday series that we're doing. Y'all missed a great time at the farm with the lambs. And I just encourage you all to watch Kiss the Ground. It's showing on Netflix, and also a film called The Biggest Little Farm, which is showing on Hulu, but you can also pay to watch it on Amazon and a couple of other places. It's really important to the Democratic Party, some of our basic core principles. It is probably the best shot we have at drawing down the legacy carbon load in the atmosphere, by getting more plants in the field more days of the year. And I just encourage everybody to read up on it and learn about it, because carbon sequestration, if you ask me, I've not seen anything that actually could solve our climate crisis. And I see a path with carbon sequestration. And the most exciting thing about it is that so often, because we live in red areas, we are feeling like we can't do anything to help the Democratic cause. And we are in a place, we are surrounded by the people who can make choices about how they treat the land and can really impact this. So I think we have to take that seriously. So it's a big passion of mine. As far as the signs go, thanks everybody for going in on that. We have way too many Democrats believe signs, way more than we think we can move. So if anybody would like to get some, you can get, we'd like to get more of them out into the community. So let me know if you would like some, and we'll make arrangements to get them to you. We obviously have our fair coming up this summer, and we bought some banners to use for backdrops fair. Am I forgetting anything, Austin? Do you want me to talk about the picnic now, or is that for later?
You can talk about the picnic now if it's more convenient for
Okay,
you.
good. All right, so July 17th, it's a Saturday. The picnic starts at 3 p.m. We have quite a few different people coming to speak, and we are planning to do a traditional potluck. I feel that we are in a position with the virus that we can do that safely. I think most everybody's vaccinated, and the whole country's or the whole state's opening up on the 22nd. So we're planning on everybody bringing your favorite dish. We'll grill hot dogs like we always do, and we will be they will be available for a donation, because we don't sell them, because that doesn't work that way. Speakers, let's see. So we've got Kathy Albro has agreed to come and talk about the Rural Caucus, which I'm really excited about. We have Lisa Evans coming from Community Action to talk about how Community Action helps our communities to be healthier all the way around. And I still haven't nailed down the speaker from the Allegheny County Health Department, so I'll be following up on that, but we are hoping to have somebody from the Allegheny County Health Department. And then I think we have a representative from Gary Peters' office, right? I don't think we got Gary, did we?
I have not heard a solid yes or no. Actually, their West Michigan representatives are all busy that day. So if we got someone, it would be the senator himself. So.
Woohoo! All right.
Yeah.
And then Joey's going to update everybody on the redistricting, so that'll be great. If you have any other suggestions for speakers, please feel free to contact me or Eleanor. And then I had something and I just lost it. Oh, yeah, so that's it on the picnic. And then the last thing is that we have requested that Governor Whitmer come to the Allegheny County Fair Parade. And we are lobbying her heavily to be at the parade. So stay tuned, fingers crossed.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jill. Anybody have any questions for Jill before we move on? I don't see any. Okay, Amy, if you can give us a report from Berrien County.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, lots of fun things happening in Berrien County. So our meeting this month is next Thursday. We are super excited to have Jocelyn Benson joining us for the first half hour of the meeting at 6 o'clock. If anyone would like to join, please just register via our registration link, and we'll get you the link. She's going to speak for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll have about 15 minutes for questions, hopefully. And that will be moderated via a Google form so that we can kind of look for common themes and use our time wisely. We kind of took a page out of Jill's playbook to rethink our meeting structure. And so what we've done the last, well, I think it was just as of last month, and then we're going to continue this, is to reduce our number of action groups that actually meet on our meeting days to 2 or 3, so that more people can have a voice in and know what's going on in the topics that are most, and the issues that are most relevant at that time, right? So for example, this month is going to be operations and fundraising. So I just wanted to give a shout out. Thank you, Jill, for incentivizing us to think more creatively about how to use our time more wisely. Precinct delegate program is going great. They are meeting monthly outside of our meetings and growing and working hard to keep that program growing, which I really think is the key to successful growth long-term for us and all of us, right? We are going to transition back to in-person meetings as of July, when the governor says it's good to go, right? But we are going to also live stream our meetings. So we will be meeting in person and live stream from here till whenever we move on to the next technological advancement, right? So excited about getting that set up, and we'll be happy to share with you how successful that is in terms of the technology we're using. We are trying to think ahead about if we're going to need extra microphones to make sure that that's, and different camera pan options and all that good stuff. I think that's going to become more relevant now that more people hopefully will be continuing to join us via a streaming modality. Our grassroots donation program, True Blue in 22, we have created a new campaign for, hoping that that will continue to be as successful as our last one, the 2020 Club. I think that transition and maintaining of the momentum for the grassroots fundraising obviously is super important. And so that's how we're addressing that. I think those are the highlights. Oh, our 2 city races that we have coming up this year, St. Joe City and Benton Harbor City. I'm happy to say, have fantastic candidates who are all excited about endorsement by the party and working together with us to create as strong a campaign as possible. So we are moving forward with that and doing some really cool things in conjunction with Joey's connection with labor and unions, and yeah, able to offer a supportive platform, I think, which is good. That's all, unless I'm forgetting something that somebody can add to.
Thank you, Amy. Does anybody have any questions for Amy before we move on?
Oh, One more quick thing. I have to say, of course, that our Juneteenth, it's not our Juneteenth celebration. It's organized by a great group of local party members from Benton Harbor, is today. And from 1 to 2 is a parade. From 2 to 6 are activities. If anybody wants to come down to Benton Harbor and join in that celebration, we'd love to have you.
Thank you. Any questions for Amy? All righty, we will go on to Naomi in Cass County. Naomi, the floor is yours.
All right, am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
So while we've been busy in Cass County, one of our goals is to be more visible in the community. So we're looking at ways that we can participate in community groups. So we've actually joined the Edwardsburg Chamber of Commerce, and we've been the Wajet Chamber of Commerce, and we're looking towards the Cassopolis Chamber of Commerce. And one of our members just joined the Farm Bureau. He's still working on worming his way into the group, but that's our goal. We also are looking to build a float. That's just in the talking stages, but we'd like to follow Allegan's lead and have a float that's ready to go for various parades that occur in the county. We also are looking to increase the engagement of our members. So we're looking at a grassroots series of events and speakers, and we have an abundance of people that we're looking at to set that up, including Jocelyn Benson, who we've asked to come. We haven't heard back from her scheduler yet, so we hope she'll be coming. We've also been working on a meeting monitors program. We're kind of stealing that name from the Detroit area, but we're trying to get people to attend as many township and county and city meetings as possible, so people know that we're there and we're monitoring what these groups are talking about and how they're planning to use the Build Back Better money, the recovery money, and remind them that Democrats voted for it and Republicans did not. So as they gleefully spend, we want them to know who they can thank for that. We also want to, monitor how they spend the money. We've been encouraging people to send letters, comments to the ICRC, and I think we've been quite successful in that. And we do have some people that are planning to attend the Grand Rapids hearing, that being the last hearing. We think we have that that they'll remember what we say at that meeting, although we did also speak in Kalamazoo. We're just working on getting candidate recruitment going, so we're trying to move into high gear on that, so stay tuned. I had a couple other things I wanted to say. Oh, in terms of increasing our engagement, under Kathleen's leadership, we're implementing what's called our Build Back Better neighborhood, so that we have some smaller groups around the county that meet together to plan events at the really local level to let us at the county level know when things are happening that we might miss otherwise. So that's kind of a new initiative that we're working on also. So I think those are the main things. If I've missed anything, Kathleen, you can jump in. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Naomi. Jill, did you have a question for Amy? Or Naomi, sorry.
No, I'm having trouble with my Zoom, sorry.
Okay, no worries, just making sure.
I did have one comment. Jill talked about the soil conservation and reclamation and how that is so important. I did watch the movie Kiss the Ground, and if any of you have not had a chance to watch that, I think it's on, I just watched it on, it was Amazon just Amazon. But, Google it, find it. It's really, really, it's really good and it's very thought provoking.
Thank you, Naomi. Any other questions for Naomi before we move on? I don't see anybody. Okay, cool. I don't see Mariah here from Kalamazoo. Is anybody else here from Kalamazoo that can give a report? Okay, so we'll skip them. Kathy for St. Joseph, the floor is yours.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. I apologize for whatever reason I couldn't break in earlier in the meeting to let you know that no, we don't have somebody who has volunteered for that committee yet. So a little bit from us, we found out last week before that we are being displaced from our office because they're putting in a dispensary. So we have to leave. Yeah, it's true. I can't fight with them, but it's true. So we have to leave our office and we don't have another place right now that is affordable to us. So it looks like we're going to be going virtual, which means that we have a lot of furniture and other odds and ends that we're looking to potentially let people borrow for a while. If anybody's interest is, we file cabinets and desks and tables and chairs. And so we need to figure out what to do with those. We don't necessarily want to rent a storage area. So keep that in mind if you're looking to, like I said, to borrow those for a while while we do our virtual thing, then that would help us and hopefully it would help you as well. We have, let me see, we have a ton of Peters signs and Biden signs and also the holders for them. So I don't know if we can give those back. I mean, the Peters signs could be used again. So if anybody knows where we can, rather than throwing those in a dumpster, if anybody has any idea what we could do with those signs and I think I'm more concerned about the poles, right, that you use for those flexible signs than anything else, because that's a lot of waste. Let me see what else we have here. It's hard for us to get a quorum right now. We St. Joseph County is kind of going underground, right? For lack of a better way to describe it. So I talked to Haley earlier this week to get some ideas from her, and I know she headed up St. Clair County for a while, and so she gave me some really great ideas. But it just looks like, we have to work from the ground up right now. It just seems like the stars have aligned, and it hasn't been one of those good alignments. So anybody who can offer up some ideas and that kind of thing, I think right now what we're looking to do is make phone calls, right? Maybe check in with halls to see if we can rent a hall or a small office for an evening or whatever to maybe make some phone calls, because I know making phone calls together is oftentimes a little more fun and a little more successful than if we're asking people to make phone calls from their homes. So we're just, looking to rebuild, I guess is the best way to describe it right now. That's what I have, a little downer. Maybe I should have stayed on mute, but that's where we are right now.
Thank you, Kathy. Does anybody have any questions for Kathy? Amy, I see you.
Just a quick comment that the new MDP texting program, the Spoke program, Haley probably talked to you about it. That might be another good way for you to help your members do outreach, both for growth and just kind of maintaining a presence. But otherwise, stay strong and let us know if we can help you.
Great, thank you.
Naomi, I see your hand.
Yes. Just two quick comments. One is we would certainly volunteer our cash office if you needed it for a meeting place. And secondly, signs can actually go to the your recycling group in the community, whatever, there should be several of them, but they will recycle the posters, and you can actually take the post or the stand to a recycling place and get money for them because it's metal and they'll recycle them.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments for Kathy before we move on? I do not see any more. Okay, Annie Van Buren, floor is yours. Oh, Rick, did you have a question?
Nope, I did. I was just gonna say that Annie apologizes. She had to leave for
Oh,
another
okay.
commitment. So I can give a very brief update real quick from Van Buren County. We
Sure.
had a terrific, very enthusiastic meeting last Thursday in person in Paw Paw. We had great attendance. We held it at a brewing company, which seems to always work well for Dems. Our guest at the meeting was Brian Crenshaw. He is the current chair of the MDP Latino Caucus. So we were able to have a nice dialogue with him and hopefully set up a future relationship with the Van Buren Dems and how we can continue to do a better job of messaging with the various communities in Van Buren County. We too are distributing signs, working to do that across the county. We have our, I guess it's annual, this is the first one for me, but annual July 25th, 5 to 7 p.m. annual fundraiser in the summer. This year, continuing to do the virtual fundraiser with an online silent auction. I'm sure Mike Signs will be able to share some additional information, but again, that's July the 25th, 5 to 7 p.m. And then we are working, or I should say Annie is working really hard as we continue to try to recruit candidates for county commission here in Van Buren County. We have a lone Dem that sits on the county commission. Gail does a great job, but we are going to do everything we can to recruit candidates and actually had some conversation, hopefully with people that were in attendance at the meeting, to help us to identify potential Dems to run for county commission and see if we can't do a better job in that area. Again, I can just share that we had great attendance. Several people that attended in person that hadn't been attending with our Zoom meetings. And we hope to continue to go in person in the future. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Rick for Van Buren County?
And I will just add that I apologize. I have another commitment here at noon, and so I have to leave as well. My apologies, but I always leave these meetings even more enthused. So thank you, everybody. It's great being back in South Haven for sure, but in the 6th congressional district, doing everything we can. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Rick. Okay, cool. So that's our county reports. I don't see anybody here from the state parties who give a report. Does anybody have any information from the state party? I haven't heard anything. I did get an email from Corey King, who is our Project 83, or one of the Project 83 organizers in Kalamazoo. I have not heard from the gentleman who was taking over from Siobhan's position, who attended our last district meeting. But Corey said that the MDP is working really hard, so they know that the state is opening back up. We're going to have events in person soon. They are working on a literature campaign so that we will have lit available, especially about the voter suppression bills that are coming through federally. So they're going to have that available to us. More information. I think that they said that they were going to have that lit available by July 10th. So I'm going to try and see how we can get our hands on that and then send that information to our county chairs so that you guys can also pick it up. And if you have door-to-door canvassing events, or you are at a fair or something like that, booths anywhere during events during the summer, that stuff will be available for you to hand out to people to let them know about these terrible voter suppression bills that are going on. So that's the initiative from the MDP as far as I've heard. Anybody else have anything else that they've heard from the state party recently? Okay, well, the only new business I had was the picnic announcements, which Jill covered very thoroughly. Again, if you didn't hear it, it's July 17th, Little John Lake County Park. The potluck starts at 3. Normally, we start our business meeting around 4, so everybody has a little bit of time to eat. And then once our business meeting is over, we will schmooze for a little more and then say goodbye to everybody. But yeah, obviously with COVID still being around, attend to your comfort level. Like I said, masks are not required, but I plan on wearing one anyway, just to be safe. And you're more than welcome to do so as well. And Jill also requested if you could bring reusable plates, utensils and stuff to be eco-friendly. But I also plan on sending out a sort of potluck planner thing so that we can have a nice spread of both dishes and supplies like beverages and things like that. So look for that in your mail to future.
Thanks, Eleanor. And we will have some
Absolutely.
paper plates, so we will have paper plates, but we hope to not use very many of them.
Right, so like bring your camping mess kits if you have one. Okay, cool, so no more new business. Then we are at announcements and good and welfare. Let me share my screen one more time just to get the notes that I've got here. Okay. Cool. So again, just a reminder, there is a meeting in Grand Rapids on July 1st at DeVos Center. You can also submit a written testimony online. I'll make sure to send this link to everybody in a follow-up email from this meeting. MDP is still hosting webinars. You can go to michigandems.com. At the bottom of their page in the footer, there's a link to, well, this is for April, but there's the link to their toolkit, which it updates for every single month that they're in. They announced finally that they are recording these and they will be making the recordings available. So if you can't attend in person, they were previously not allowing recordings to be taken or they weren't posting them. They're going to start doing that, which is awesome. So you can attend after the webinar is over if you can't make that specific date, but they do tend to have them on a regular basis every month. I attended this bystander intervention training, which they're having, they're continuously having trainings going forward in the future. It was really informative. Basically what it trains you how to do is if you see someone experiencing discrimination in public or even online, it gives you a really cool toolkit to distract and basically stop them from harassing the person. You don't necessarily have to get involved immediately. One of the steps also is like after it concludes, you can just go up and say, you know, I saw that happening to you and that was not cool. And I don't think that they're right. And, you know, you're valid and you're a human being and I appreciate you and all of that. So there's a lot of different approaches. So you can approach that at your comfort level, but it was a really interesting training and I highly suggest it to all of you. Again, I can share this link in a summary email at the end of this meeting. And they're still having these Rust Belt Rising webinars as well, which are extremely important considering that we're a very rural district still. They're talking about how to run in a rural county, in a rural district. They're also just like giving you all the information that you need to run a campaign. So if you know anyone who is interested in running for any of our local positions, especially in like Berrien, Cass, Allegan, Van Buren are more rural counties, definitely send them to this URL on the MDP website for more information. Okay. So that's all that I had for good and welfare. Anyone else? I don't see anything. Okay, well then, I will accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I saw your hand too, Naomi, so that's a second. Then we're adjourned. Congratulations. Everybody have a very safe day and happy Juneteenth and enjoy all of the events today that you may attend.
Thanks, Eleanor.
Talk to you all
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.